So Kerry, what's going on, man? Tell us a little bit about yourself for everybody out there, and then we'll jump right into it.
So I've been in the industry for 33 years, been working with Devin and Aaron, and they asked me to pop on to touch base and clarify some of the rumors that are out there about getting a home loan since COVID has hit us and changed a little bit of how we do business. And so everybody can feel comfortable. Many people are still getting home loans, buying homes, refinancing. And while the process has changed a little bit, we're closing a lot of loans. People are buying homes. You can get jumbo loans, you can get conventional loans, you can get FHA and VA loans, and there's a lot of options out there for people depending upon the price point of their home. Some of the processes are taking a little bit longer to close, so instead of your normal 30 days, you might be 35 days or 37 days or 45 days, but purchases are definitely closing, even jumbo loans in most cases within 45 days. The self-employed borrower has a little bit more added to their loan process as far as the documentation needed to someone who has a job, because obviously we need to make sure their business is still open and functioning and they're still getting their income. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot different out there, and we're closing transactions smoothly. Rates are, of course, near all-time lows. Most of your loans are in the mid threes to low threes. Some of the adjustables on the jumbo loans are well below 3. And there's a lot of interest-only products out there for jumbo borrowers as well that we're seeing people take advantage of if they're qualified. So depending upon their banking relationships or who they're working with.
So Kerry, real quick, that's awesome information. I feel like for a lot of people out there are watching maybe new to this. So can you just briefly explain what you mean by jumbo loan?
Sure. So when you're getting a loan, there's different buckets, if you want to call it, that each borrower falls into based upon the amount of the loan they're getting. So in California, in Los Angeles County, your basic vanilla loan is a $510,400 loan limit, which is called a conforming or conventional loan. And that's $510,400. But because homes are so costly in LA County, we get lucky, we get to have something called a high balance conventional loan, which is 1.5 times the amount of the standard $510,400 loan, which puts you at $765,600. The nice thing about this is that the guidelines that you use to get approved are more simplified. Many times, if you're self-employed, we can get away with 1 year's tax returns. If you're a employed borrower, you can go with just W-2s and pay stubs and without tax returns. So there's a lot more flexibility in getting the loan approved as far as the documentation needed. When you're getting a loan over the $765,600 limit, that becomes what's called a jumbo loan. Jumbo loans are typically funded by banks or institutional type investors that purchase them from mortgage bankers or mortgage wholesalers or mortgage correspondents. And those loan guidelines are a little bit more complex and have a little more stringent underwriting. So those loans will almost always require 2 years tax returns and all the documentation that was filed with that tax returns, like W-2s, 1099s, and things of that nature. Additionally, conventional loans oftentimes do not require, in most cases, any type of reserve. So you put up your down payment, you buy the house, you close escrow, and all you need is your down payment and closing cost. Jumbo loans almost always require reserves, and depending upon the loan amount and the amount of down payment a buyer puts, it could be 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, or up to 24 months of your monthly payment on the new loan and home as reserves. So if your mortgage payment's $5,000, your property taxes are $2,000, and your insurance is $100, you have a $7,100 housing payment. They would want that times whatever number of months required as reserves. So, it could be 100,000 reserves for 12 months on something like that. But again, if you're qualified and you can meet the requirements, you're getting a loan. And there's different programs. Different jumbo investors have different guidelines. The majority of conventional 510 or 765 lenders all follow the same guidelines. So like I said, simplified versus complex, but still not any harder to get, just more documentation.
Man, that is great information. Kerry just gave like a crash course in loans right there in 5 minutes. I know he threw a lot of information out at everybody. If you have more questions on that, or if that kind of went over your head, reach out to us, or we can give you Kerry's information as well. I mean, he's free to give people a phone call. Usually I'm driving and have a coffee with you right now, maybe a virtual coffee over Zoom like this. But Yeah, this is Kerry Gelbard, LA Mortgage. If you're just joining us, I'm Devin. This is Aaron. We're doing our Really Real Estate webinar series. We've had a full series of general inspectors, appraiser. We should get appraiser, actually. Title company, home inspectors, home warranty. We're going to be putting that stuff out on YouTube too. So if you own a home and want more information, or you're looking to buy, reach out to us. We got a lot of good free information for you. Kerry, so just real quick too. So what are you still active? You said you're active. How many loans did you, I mean, I don't know if you can give us a number in April or last week, or applications right now. Can you give us an example?
April closed loans was probably 25-ish in April between purchases and refis. This month will probably be a little bit less because refis have slowed in some sectors because so many people refied in March and April. So May will be a little bit slower, but still very active. Several new purchases already today, and it's only Monday to start the week. I know that in talking to a lot of the realtors I work with, I know of 11 new sales that opened up today, which is pretty good.
Just from your network.
From a couple of sources.
Yeah,
that's very good. So the market's very active.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a little bit. We actually opened an escrow today as well. So we are happy to be opening that for some buyers. So why do I see clickbait on my phone? And why do my friends and clients keep reaching out to me? Hey, I can't get a jumbo loan. People can't buy my house right now. Why do we see that?
Well, I mean, some people were trying to get a jumbo loan, but they were doing an alternate doc type loan. They weren't using tax returns. They were trying to use bank statements, which is the old, what they called back in the day before the market went sideways in 2008, stated income loan. So with Dodd-Frank, they eliminated stated income and they went to an alternate type documentation, which is bank statements. And all the investors that were buying these type of loans, as soon as COVID hit, dried up. And there's a few that have come back, but they're requiring much larger down payments. So it's making it more difficult to buy an expensive home with 20% down. Now you may need 35% down or 40% down to get that type of loan. So they've kind of pulled back a little bit. Anybody who's getting fully documented type loans, 2 years tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs in the jumbos, they're having really no issue getting their loan and closing deals. Those are still closing and getting done. And we have lots of sources for those.
There you go. So don't believe everything you read that pops up on your phone. Make sure you call an expert. Because at first I was seeing that too. And I said, oh boy, we're in big trouble. But then I reached out at some of our office meetings, Kerry was letting us know, no, it's still happening. He's closing them himself and referring those to some other lenders he knows. He told me this morning, and with good interest rates too.
Yeah, the jumbo rates are actually better than the conventional rates. They're down at 3 1/8, and in some cases, if you could put deposits up with the jumbo investors, some of the borrowers are getting under 3% on a 30-year fix, which sounds crazy, but I mean, I know it's happening.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, we'll get into interest rates and what that means, like a percentage point less and things like that later on into this. So if that goes over your head, like Devin said, we'll get there.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks so much, Kerry. Anything else you want to chime in? You want to let people know how they can get a hold of you?
No, if they want to get a hold of me, they can contact you, and I know you'll put them in touch, which is cool. So anybody who has questions, I'm happy to answer them and point you in the right direction. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who will.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you taking the time this evening.
Thanks,
My
Kerry.
pleasure, and thanks for having me on your Zoom call. Appreciate it.
Right on, man. Take care.
Right on.
Okay.
Well, that was great. I mean, 25 loans in April. Obviously, it's still staying active right now. We're going to get into that in a little bit right now. But for now, we wanted to show everybody who's with us kind of what we've been doing when things really slowed down in March and we weren't, everyone's doing their part to stay at home. We were staying active by hiring some tech wizards to come in and really perfect the virtual showings for some of the listings that we have and some of the listings you see around town. So Aaron, you want to talk us through? I'll share the screen right here right now.
Yeah.
Kind of what we're seeing. If you guys have been looking, you might have seen something similar to this, but.
Wait for you to share the screen so everybody can see that too. Yeah, so the virtual showings right now, there's a thing called Matterport, which we're seeing a lot of and is actually pretty incredible. It allows you to actually walk or click your way through the entire house. So you can see like the entire kitchen, 360 degrees. You can move around from room to room. You can also, a really cool feature, if you get into, Devin, you want to try and get to a bedroom and we can measure the,
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So you can see, you can actually just move your way around. We're doing this for all of our listings, like Devin said. It's just a way
This
to
one, full disclosure, this is not our listing, but we have been doing this for ours.
Yes.
Yeah,
so if you want to know, let's say, is my bed going to fit here? You can actually use the tool in the bottom left and click somewhere. You can measure, like Devin just did, the length of the side table for your bed. You can want to go in that room a little bit.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You can measure the distance of an entire wall, and it'll tell you that. So you can say, hey, I have a California king size bed. I know it's however long it is. Will it fit here? And you can do that all over the house.
That's a big room, man.
That's a big room.
Feet.
Exactly. Some of the other cool features about this is that it allows you to go floor by floor. So you can work your way up the stairs. The other thing, you can skip it and just click. And then you can also look at it from the floor plan, like just the overall arching floor plan. If you click another one on the bottom left down there. There you go. So you can look at it from above. So you can literally go through and make sure all your furniture is going to fit and just kind of create and see what your life is going to look like in this house. It's a pretty incredible thing.
And one of the cool things too, you can see kind of from above. So what we've been trying to do is send this to buyers and send this to, tell our sellers, hey, we can do this for you. So you only have serious people coming through your house,
exactly.
Which I think is really important for people right now. They want to make sure that, they don't have the looky-loos coming through. And, it is an essential business. We have some people that were selling their house before this all started, and they were going to close escrow and they needed a place to move. So we said, hey, we can do this. We can help show you around. So that's been a really useful tool for us that we've been taking advantage of. Next thing we want to talk about was virtual open houses, something that we've been doing, typical Saturday 2 to 5, Sunday 2 to 5. What we've been doing now is an agent like Aaron or I will go to the house. We'll set up appointments via Instagram Live or Zoom or FaceTime, and we'll block it off so we can actually walk through the house with people. Which has been great. And you schedule those time slots in 30 minutes so that they can say, hey, will you go back over there or tell me a little bit about the kitchen, or is there, AC, or what's the backyard look like? So we can do that as well before people come. But now we are actually able to do showings. So Aaron, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what we're doing right now is we're meeting with the client outside of the house for the most part. Everybody has masks, gloves are encouraged. And we're allowed to have one agent and 2 clients walk through the house at a time. So this basically prevents it from getting oversaturated. We had showings on Saturday that we had to schedule, like Devin said, you schedule in a lot of time and you get like a half an hour in the house. When we got there was somebody walking out. When we were walking out, there was somebody waiting on the sidewalk. So it's actually a pretty good way. You get a decent amount of time in the homes. If you want to linger a little longer, you can. But it's just a great system to keep your 6 feet. So you're still staying, socially distant and adhering to all the guidelines. And it's been very good so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been super busy, which we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. But there's an offer. We can jump right into that right now, as far as what we've been hearing. Positive sign for the housing market. The last 3 weeks, the volume of applications for loans to buy a home is up. In California, it's up over 10% this past week. That's per Realtor.com and the Mortgage Banker Association. And they use that number to kind of gauge buyer interest and buyer confidence in buying. That dropped off the map in March. Kind of the overall, arc of what we wanted to talk about was, as everybody kind of felt in March when this all hit us, we kind of froze and we were all at home doing our part to, help contain this and flatten the curve, as they said. But now, as people are getting more comfortable with the new norm, people are saying, okay, we can now feel comfortable going out safely to look at homes and purchase, which is what we've been Aaron was talking about with the proper safety guidelines.
Yeah, exactly. And so far, for the active buyers that we've shown homes to and been submitting offers for, which is quite a few, there's multiple offers on just about everything across the board. In our office meetings, where we're talking with anywhere between 100 to like 1,000 agents at one time, we're hearing the same thing everywhere, no matter where you are in Los Angeles, in the Valley, on Silver Lake, on the east side and the west side. there's multiple offers on just about everything that's coming up right now. So there's a lot of active buyers and a lot of competition.
Yeah, which is healthy for the state of the market in general and home values. And honestly, confidence for buyers, knowing that other people are interested as well, getting out there. Yeah, we're saying people, not just ourselves, we get on calls with 150, 200 other agents around our company every morning at 9 o'clock, and we're hearing the same thing. We have some numbers from the MLS we're going to show in a little bit to kind of back that up, but people are closing homes. And another thing that we've heard is because of quarantine, families who live in condos or families who live in apartments now want more space. So they are able to, and wanting to purchase a house with more space. Shoot, that just reminded me, I had another question for Kerry regarding if you were furloughed but anticipate getting your job back, how that affects your loan, because he's been talking about that at our meetings. But from our understanding, from what he said is, obviously if you're not making money now, it makes it difficult to qualify. But if you have that pre-approval letter, we can still keep looking as long as you get if you get employed again by that same employer at the same numbers, you'll be good to go.
Yeah. And as some people know, not everybody does. Not everybody follows the stock market. But overall, since March, whenever all of this happened, the middle of March, the market has rebounded consistently. So it ended, let's see, what does it say there? The Dow ended the month of April at 24,000, up 11% from the end of March. The S&P also was up 12.6% at the end of March. Devin, you want to touch on that a little bit?
And the NASDAQ is actually up positive for the year from what I understand from reading today as well.
Yeah.
And, obviously we understand that doesn't affect everybody. It affects everyone differently. Wall Street versus Main Street, we understand that, but it gives investors confidence in buying bundled mortgages and as the general state of the economy to be able to boost that and feel confident where the economy is going. And it also helps, the home buyers that we're helping that have money in the market and were totally freaked out and had lost some money. And now it's come back up, not all the way, obviously. We understand that, but it's giving people confidence that things are flattening off. And we don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, 9 months, understand that. That's kind of the overarching thing as well, a theme of what we've been hearing from people. What's going to happen in 6 months? What's going to happen in 9 months? If people are going into forbearance, is there going to be a flood of more stuff on the market? We're going to talk about that a little bit more as well later, but for now, things are looking good. Aaron, fill us in a little bit more why low interest rates are so great from what Kerry was saying.
So the reason low interest rates are so great, if you think about it, when your parents were buying a house, or just back in the 80s, might not have been your parents, interest rates were like 15%. So if you actually break it down, last year they were around 4.3%, and now they're around 3.3%. That's a 25% reduction. So if you think about that, the amount of interest that you're actually paying over the course of the loan. So over the course of the loan, you're potentially saving around $150,000. If you look down towards the bottom of Devin's screen right there, the monthly payment at 4.25% for a house that's $1 million, just the interest payment that you have is about $2,800. Right now, they're around 3.25%, and that interest alone is $2,166. So there's about a $600 difference.
$700 bucks.
$700 from last year to this year. Over the course of the loan, if you look at last year, $1 million house, the amount of interest that you're paying is $600,000. Now it's about $450,000 over the course of the 30 years. So it's a huge difference. You're saving a ton of money from even what it was last year.
Yeah, and this is rates. We actually pulled this from a mortgage calculator that Kerry advised us to use, just kind of for some ballpark numbers, Carl's mortgage calculator. So we pulled that earlier. If you want to see kind of the breakdown of how that works over a 30-year mortgage, shoot us a message or an email, and we can send that over to you. But yeah, a lot of times I think, just to emphasize what Aaron was saying, we hear from a lot of buyers that say, I want to wait for the market to go down. Well, historically, when the market goes down, the rates go up as well. And as you can see, if the rate goes up a point, it's over 150 grand, 160 grand that you're paying in interest over that 30 years. So it can really make a big difference if you think, is the market really going to dip? I mean, 160 grand on $1 million is 16%. Is it going to go down 15, over 15%. I don't know. We don't have the crystal ball, but those are things that you can weigh as you're deciding on buying or not. Obviously, we want to get you a good deal and the benefits of you getting in a home right now, because some people want to start their families, some people want to be in a home. But that also, if you're looking at that and want to refinance or explore refinancing, as Kerry said, he's still doing that. And that can be the impact of helping you refinance as well at these lower rates.
Exactly. And
these are some of the questions I was asking Kerry earlier to prep, but he said, just to reiterate, he has a buddy at Wells Fargo that he spoke with him today and locked in a rate for 3 1/8% for 30 years. And he's closing within 30 to 45 days. And, I said it earlier, but clickbait, I saw something pop up on my phone that says Wells Fargo no longer doing jumbo loans. So I called Kerry. I said, what's up with that? And he said, dude, I just have a buddy that did one. He closed it at that. So yeah,
don't believe what you read. That's all we're saying. Ask a professional. Talk to somebody who actually does it firsthand.
There you go.
I'm seeing some questions on the Facebook Live thing. We're going to get through this and then we'll open it up to a Q&A. So just, if you have any questions, write them down, save them. You can enter them in the chat. We'll get to them.
That's great. We're trying to get through this quickly too.
Yeah.
And we can send this over. I can share this as well if you guys want to read a little bit more into that. But this is a little bit more of the data. Unfortunately, the national data in California from the Association of Realtors comes out in the third week of the month. So what we were able to pull was from March. If you want, again, we can send everybody the April data. But this is from March, where you can see that you really started to feel the impact of COVID-19 and the stay-at-home order by the existing home sales falling. But considering that 80% of the country was under stay-at-home order, it was actually pretty good. It only fell less than 1%. You can see that. And it can be a little misleading because some of those homes were put under contract in February and early March. But that was still encouraging that people were closing those deals, because as some of you know who have bought, you could have canceled if you were still in escrow. And the median price was actually higher than last March still.
And that's something we're seeing specifically in California. The reason that the real estate market has stayed so strong right now is because the ratio of new listings to sold transactions is moving together. It's basic supply and demand. So we haven't seen a huge influx of new listings to basically just sit on the market. The sold transactions are still keeping up with it. There's a record low 2.7 months supply of homes for sale in the month of March, compared to in February when there was 3.6 months. And what that means is, so they take the total number of homes available on the market divided by the average number of homes sold in a month. So that's how we get that number. So
yeah, exactly. If there were no more new listings coming on next month. But the encouraging thing is we actually have seen listings come on, which we're going to show some more data from the PDF of the MLS I have up here in a second. But yeah, the median price has gone up in LA County, in Orange County, and Ventura County. So the surrounding counties of LA here. And yeah, we can jump into this a little bit as well. Also, as just to what we're hearing and experiencing, even if there's more listings that come on the market, I mean, Aaron and I, we wrote an offer on a house this week that had 21 offers. So there are still buyers out there excited. There's another offer that we're in escrow. I was doing an inspection today with the buyer, and this morning there was another buyer checking it out for a showing as a backup offer. They have like 5 or 6 backup offers. We wrote an offer in Glassell Park and Highland Park on that side of town, the east side, and there were 5, 6, 7 offers on that one, and on the west side as well. So people are excited to get back out and home shopping, and I think that more listings will actually keep it healthy.
Yeah, I agree. And we will see more and more. This is usually the hottest time of the year, like the middle of May, going into June. After everybody has figured out their taxes are paid. I know this year kind of got screwed up and everything got pushed a little bit. But I think we're going to start to see that flood of listings coming in to fill the need for all these buyers that we have.
Yeah, and there could be a chance for opportunity. We get a little sidetracked, but there could be a chance for opportunity. I mean, unfortunately, some people are obviously in forbearance with the loan right now. From everything I've heard from not only Kerry, but other lenders, if you have the opportunity to pay rent and to pay your mortgage, continue paying, because what they're telling me is that, the banks are going to find a way to get you on the back end whether it's all due at once in 60 or 90 days after the fact, or whether they tack it on and they charge you interest on that. So you don't want to fall behind at that. Obviously, if you can't make your payment, call them right away. Same for rent. I've read multiple articles. It's different per city in LA, different per county, or excuse me, in California. I'm sure that's the same nationally, but you want to check with your landlord. Some of the cities said that you had to write them the 7 days prior to not being able to pay. Some said that you could do it after. So make sure you research that. If you're a homeowner yourself, call the lender, your lender that you get on your bills every month. But let's hop back into this. So this is the MLS. I made just a kind of weird shape here, but if you know LA, I just wanted to give you a broader sense down all the way to Inglewood and Playa, Manhattan Beach, up into the valley a little bit, over to Burbank, Altadena, Pasadena, just to give you an idea. So in April, there were 716 listings that came on the market that are still available. So there are actually a few more that fell under contract. So people were still putting their houses up for sale, not as many as last year. This is the first 10 days of May, so not even including today, because I did it this morning. But there's 453. So just in the first 10 days. So, if you 30 days in a month by 3, you're looking at maybe 1,500 coming on as more people come up. So we are seeing more activity as people put homes on the market, as people get more comfortable showing their homes with Matterport, as we showed earlier. And more comfortable, and the fact that they're allowed legally to show their homes. At first, as Aaron, as we were trying to mention, we weren't showing any homes, and then the authorities, the government said, okay, you know what, you guys can show homes as long as they're vacant, as long as it's a house where people have moved out, or it's a remodel or new construction. So we were doing that, and then they said, okay, as long as everybody signs off of it and the sellers leave, which I've done. There was a house where the sellers left. We kind of looked at them and waved. They drove away, and then we went in. And they leave all the doors open. They leave all the windows open, so we don't have to touch anything, which is really nice. So staying safe, but still showing houses.
Exactly. We've had a lot of that all over the city, where the doors, Devin or I will show up early maybe, and we'll open up every single door, every single window, so everything's there for you, and then people can just walk right through and look at everything that they need to look at.
So then I wanted to show everybody, this is in April 2019. So last year, April, there were 1,300 homes sold in this that closed in the month of April. When you come back down to April 2020, 644. So yeah, I mean, that's half of the almost exactly half, not quite, but right about there, the number of homes sold year to year, which is, a pretty significant drop. But at the same time, I thought it was pretty encouraging that 644 homes closed when everybody was kind of, at a standstill, not really knowing what was going on. We personally had a couple escrows cancel, unfortunately, because of lost income and situations due to COVID. So the fact that 644 still closed, I thought was pretty encouraging this morning.
Yeah, and we still have one that's riding out. Should theoretically close the end of this week. So
that's right.
Fingers crossed.
That's a crazy story of a seller being stuck in a foreign country, and us and the buyer being patient and working hard to get it done. And hopefully we'll get the buyer in there.
It's been a journey.
But again, I mean, the encouraging thing, I'm staying positive through all this, because in the first 10 days of May, there were 472 homes sold. And, if you want proof of what Kerry's saying, here, I'll zoom in a little bit. These are $3 million house, 4.9, 2.3. I mean, those are all jumbo loans. 1.4 is a jumbo loan, 3.9. So the jumbo loans in the last 10 days are still closing. I mean, then you have the conventional 580, 470, 1.3. Well, that's a jumbo too. 927. If they put 20% down, might fall into a little bit more, might fall into conventional. But so again, I mean, in the first 10 days, 472, all of last month, 644. So the trend of, okay, people feeling a little bit more confident. Maybe let's go out and see some houses.
And also think about it. Yeah, exactly. Also think about it from the 30 to 45 day escrow. So if these are closing at the beginning of this month, that means they went into escrow at the end of March, maybe the middle of March, maybe the beginning of April, but like that 30 to 45 day range in the past. So right around in the heart of all of this, when everybody was still locked down.
Yeah. Exactly, Aaron. Exactly. This is, I'm going to scroll down, skip that one, go to, this is under contract. So in April of 2020, these are homes that agents wrote an offer and the sellers accepted it. So these are ones that are new escrows, 240 in April. Okay, so that happened as we were starting to open it back up, as people were starting to get a little more confident. 240. I wish I could see the number. It didn't let me go back to 2019 because they were all closed by that point. But again, it was still encouraging to see people, 240 people are out there selling their houses in the middle of this. And then in the first 10 days of May, 121 already. And as Kerry said, I mean, today from agents of his alone, 11, we had another one. So I anticipate seeing that continue to grow into May here. And this was another interesting one. So you want to explain to them pending versus active under contract?
Yeah, so this is a 186 pending listings. So usually what happens, Devin was talking about backup offers. So once an offer gets accepted, usually it goes active under contract, which basically means we are under contract, but we're looking for backup offers. So agents typically switch it to pending when all the contingencies have been removed. Basically, the buyer is definitely going to buy this property. We're 100% moving forward. And that's the switch. So you can see there's 186 that went pending. Is that April?
Yeah, that's April of 2020, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you add that to the number of active under contract listings, like there's definitely a lot of activity happening.
Yeah, 186, so that's 300. You're looking at 300 accepted offers and offers that they've removed all their contingencies and they're moving forward to close.
Yeah.
And then we move just to the first 10 days of May. Again, you have 80 pending. So those are people that have done their inspections. They've been approved for their loan. They're confident they're going to move forward. And again, there's jumbo loan, 4.5 million, 1.4, a lot of jumbos on the west side, down, 555, conventional loans doing it as well. So, yeah, I'm really glad we pulled that just to show people, there is still activity out there and there are still multiple offers. And there are still deals. Actually, I was talking regarding investment properties today to somebody, and unfortunately, as people don't pay rent, everybody kind of thinks of the landlord as the big corporation that can afford to stomach that. But we have clients and know people who are, just like you, who might have bought a 4-unit to help them with their retirement, but some of the tenants now can't pay their rent. So unfortunately, they might have to sell and cash out to get some of that money. And in that case, there might be some deals out there for people if they're looking to buy. Similarly, perhaps in 6 to 9 months with homes. It all kind of depends on what happens with the economy and if people can jump back into their jobs and be able to keep paying their mortgage.
Exactly. Just staying aware and continuing to look, you're going to open yourself up to a lot of opportunity out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's just important to know that, especially at the beginning of this, I was guilty as well of just thinking, wow, the world's, going to end. No one's going to buy a house. And then getting phone calls of people saying, hey, you know what, we still want to check it out. And then now that we're allowed to again, it's really encouraging that people are out there. The market in general is kind of taken off again. So Aaron, how can people check out the market trends by neighborhood?
Oh yeah. So if you're curious and you want to see what your neighborhood or an area that you're interested in, if you go to mbpropertyla.com, this website we have right here, definitely follow it. And then you scroll down just a little bit and click on what's my home worth right under the sellers. You scroll to the bottom of this page.
Look at those mugs. Look at those dudes.
Look at those guys. Look at those guys.
So you can actually find it up here, market trends. Or if you're already a homeowner, you get the instant home evaluation as well. This is kind of our portal for sellers to know an area. You get this is a lease listing. If anybody knows anybody looking for rent, that's another good point. So the rental market is picked up as well. As we're doing this webinar, I just got 2 inquiries about this house that we have for rent. Let us know if you know anybody. It's actually a really nice house.
Remodeled. It's a good one.
But market trends up here, so we could do this. Does anybody want to write? Anybody want to write in the chat a zip code for us to check out? Ari and Pallavi still there?
We can start with one. Start with 90066, and then if somebody chimes, oh, there it is, 91601.
91601.
So you also have the option, you can choose single family and you can choose condo as well. So this will tell you the market report and what's happened in the past. So this will be for April at this point.
So yeah, as we could all expect, the number of sales are down as we kind of saw, because April last year there were 9, there were 4 this year. New listings down as everyone was kind of freaked out. Should I put my home on the market or not? Days on the market actually went up. That's for the broad market. We actually saw that go down.
Yeah. And you'll notice the number of sales and the new listings, they're very close. They're moving together. So that's what's keeping prices where they are and potentially even increasing just a little bit.
But bam, look at that. Whoever wrote that zip code, man, you're killing it. Look at that median sales price up 14%.
Average sale price up 14%. List prices up, and that's from year over year. So that's last April to this April.
Can't make that up. We should post that and for all the buyers out there, 14% since last year. So if you want to check this out, again, I can send this to you. You can find it on our website, but there's some more in-depth data. This comes out every month. Something we get with Rodeo Realty. Anybody else want to let us know one?
We got a 90016. There's also all kinds of charts and graphs that go down and kind of break just more data for you to really dive into it and find out more information on it, on the area.
90016. Dang, you're killing it too.
Yep. So on this one, notice the average days in the market actually went down. So it means properties are moving even faster. But again, number of sales down 33%, new listings down 31%. They're moving together. And the average days in the market got cut in half. So that's how hot the market is right now.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable, honestly, to think about how people were, even in one of the areas Aaron and I do a lot of work in Mar Vista, there was a house, gorgeous house on Lyceum, about 195. I thought it would go quick, but it was under contract within a week. Again, in that jumbo loan range. Hey, a little secret piece of information for everybody still paying attention right now. I was at an inspection today, and the guy that was doing the sewer line inspection, checking out all the waste that goes out, told me about a website called Navigate LA. So if you Google that, if you're a homeowner or looking to buy one, it shows you approximately where the sewer line is on your property. So if you want to plant I love avocados, so I'm gonna say an avocado tree in the front yard, right? You'll know I should plant that on the left side of the yard instead of the right side of the yard so that the roots stay away from that sewer line. So that's a little tip for everyone.
That's a great tip.
I love doing inspections for these houses because one, I can pass the knowledge that I've learned along to the home buyers, but I always learn something new from the experts out there, the plumbers and the foundation guys and the termites. And it's kind of nerdy stuff, but it's really important. Anybody else want a zip code?
We got one on Facebook, 90034. I'll lower this thing.
90034. 88%.
Wow.
Must have been some big sales in that one.
Had to be. But yeah, again, look at the number of sales down 61%, but the number of new listings is down 72%. And the days on the market reflect that. It shows 50%. So it cut in half again.
I know there's some new construction over here in Culver City area. So that
definitely. Does that incorporate Beverlywood as well?
Yeah, a little bit part. I think close. Yeah, across Robertson there. Not quite Beverlywood, but by Hamilton High School.
Mm-hmm. You want to go? Just keep scrolling down a little bit so we can show them the amount of graphs and the amount of data that you have. So you can look at the trend over time, all the way back to May 2017. So you can see how new properties coming on the market. Some months there are more, some months there are less.
Yeah, and it was interesting too because at the beginning of this year, or late last year, December, we were getting some clients in with deals. As it got closer to the holidays, there was a Craftsman in Jefferson Park that we got way under market. There was a couple other clients that we were writing offers, and it kind of slowed down the first 2 weeks of January, and we were getting people under contract, what I thought below market, and then it just took off. All of a sudden, it was super competitive. Everybody was out. They were back from their holiday shopping. Maybe they paid off their credit card bill at the end of January. They say, hey, I still have money. I want to buy a house.
Yeah. Look at that right there. The top of what you have right here. Average sale price April 2020. So you can see all the way back to May 2017. It peaked and then it kind of went down again, and now it's going right back up. So you're just seeing the prices don't necessarily show signs of slowing down. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 to 9 months, but this is just very encouraging information.
And then, we could do,
we got one more, 90036, or you can do it. Oh yeah, let's do LA as a whole afterwards too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. $90036.
So there you go. Number of sales down 55%, new listings down 47%. Days on market actually went up. So there's got to be.
Yeah, there must be a house that somebody listed there, or maybe a couple houses that somebody listed there that have just been sitting for a while. That
for a very long time.
Kind of
183. Yeah, 183 days on the market. That's
whoever sent that, send me a message and I'll do some more research on you for that one, because there's probably in I'm looking up where that is, Mid-City.
Yeah. Newmark.
Oh, Newmark. Yeah. There's definitely some new construction homes there. I'll send them to you, Dan, but sometimes what happens, I've seen it in that area in particular. People build these new construction homes, 4 or 5 million. You've probably seen them if you're looking at listings, but what they do is then they put it also for lease. They put it for 18 to 25 grand a month. This actually became a business. So they put it on the market for $5 million. And if somebody wanted to write an offer and they sell it. But in the meantime, they were Airbnb-ing it and they were renting it for 3 to 6 months. So that's why that number is actually pretty skewed for the days on the market there. Because Aaron and I actually rented one of those houses, 18 grand a month.
Yeah. But you can see the trend's still the same. The prices have gone up year over year. It's, all signs are pointing good. Should you want to do LA as a whole?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's see what that's like.
This is city of LA, not.
Yeah. City, not county. And you can, like I said earlier, you can break it down. You can do only condos. You can do single family homes only. This is for both combined. So this is the whole city of Los Angeles. So you can see the number of sales, number of listings down, days in the market also down. So things are still moving quickly as an entire city as a whole. The median sale price went down, which is interesting, but the average sale price went up.
Yeah, I wonder if there must have been maybe a big sale to drive the average up. But yeah, that's awesome stuff, man. This is really good free information. If you guys want, we can send you our website. You can find it right here, NB Property.
I'll type it in the chat.
And you scroll down to what's your home worth is what you do.
Yeah.
And if you want yours, this one will do, I don't know, letting people know where I live on Facebook right now. I wonder if it'll do, that's the office. Let's see if it'll do that. This is a commercial building, but. Commercial building didn't work.
Do that. Do my old house.
It's what is it?
3958 Beethoven Street. I don't live there anymore. You can look it up.
And send junk mail to Aaron's old house.
Exactly. Actually, don't. We know the people that rented it.
we rented it to those people. So this will give you a couple value estimates right there. Man, Zillow is off the. You know what? I think I know why that's low, is because that's the rented value.
Yeah.
Because when we close the rental,
but this is also a very good thing to bring up. These values that you see on Zillow and Realtor and Redfin, don't trust them, because I have never in my entire career as a real estate agent seen somebody from Zillow, Redfin, or Realtor.com come into the house to look at it and appraise it, because they don't. They just they take a bunch of information and then they just guess. They compile information and guess. They haven't seen the finishes. They haven't seen the quality. They don't know.
I mean, it's super interesting too, because you can see the range.
Yeah, exactly.
1,345,000 to 173. So they could say, in this neighborhood, if it's terrible curb appeal, has a hole in the floor or wall, you're going to get $1.3 million. Fully remodeled, $1.8 million, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody writing in the chat up there, I see.
Yeah.
But,
So the point you made about Zillow. That also goes for if you're a buyer. If you're looking at it, you don't trust those numbers because they're not always right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that happened. I had that conversation today because that place that we're renting down in View Park's $3,250 a month, fully remodeled, brand new appliances. Zillow says that it should be like $2,800 a month, but everyone that is looking at it is telling me this is a great deal for that neighborhood because of how nice it is, and they come see it. And I looked today and I was with the landlord today, showed him, hey, you're the #1 saved house right now in that neighborhood. And people are thinking this is a great deal. Initially we were thinking he might get like $3,500. He wanted to rent it quickly, so we priced it at $3,250 to kind of create some interest there. And he's got 4 applications already, and people texting me right now for it. So, Aaron, you said there's some other questions, or?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let's go back over here. Can I adjust it? Oh. My iPad just freaked out. So.
Oh, I see it right now. So is that just when you want the value of your home, the point you made about Zillow, so the price is listed as the selling price or more than likely incorrect on Zillow or Realtor? Yeah, I mean, you can use them as a gauge. You can use them as kind of a guesstimate or a gauge for the neighborhood. What Aaron was saying, usually they take like the price per square foot and the bedrooms and bathrooms of homes in the neighborhood, comparable sales comps we talk about. But the thing that they're missing is that they don't go into the house and see if it was freshly painted or if the floors are brand new
or if it has a new roof or any,
Yeah, I mean, a great point. The house I was at today needs, the foundation luckily is in good shape, but the sewer line needs some work, and it needs new plumbing and new electrical. And when we market homes as realtors, we'll tell everyone, hey, they just put in brand new electric, they just put in brand new plumbing under the house. They just did I got a quote for an HVAC, central air and heat, for $11,000 for a 1,200 square foot house. So that stuff plays a huge role.
Yeah. It does. So on Zillow also, I'm pretty sure if you scroll down far enough, it will tell you the history of the property, meaning like the previous sales, and those are accurate. When it shows you what it sold for 4 years ago when the person who currently owns it bought it, that's accurate. But what they're guessing a house is worth, the Zestimate, I think they call it, you just can't trust them.
I see a question on Facebook from, do you think we're in the early stages of this real estate market? Would you consider this a buyer's market? At the beginning of the pandemic, that was the most common question I was getting. Hey, when are we going to get the deals? Can we start lowballing? At this point, as we kind of mentioned, we're still seeing offers above asking for the more desirable homes that are fixed up in kind of the nicer areas, and even some of the homes that are livable that people can move into, but need a couple that need some work. Aaron and I also work with investors and developers who buy houses and as a lot of people say now, fix and flip, as well as people that buy houses and knock them down and build new homes. At the start of the pandemic, it was really difficult for those guys and girls to get money from their hard money lenders. People were just holding on to their cash. But now I just got a call that said, hey, you know what? My hard money lender is opening up again. So if you find deals, I'm ready to buy. So it's tough. I mean, you don't have the crystal ball, but for now things are holding well. I would still say it's kind of leaning still towards more of a seller's market, certainly in the last 10 days as people are kind of coming back out to buy. But we'll see. I think more telling will maybe be, I don't know if Aaron agrees or not, but 6 to 9 month mark, once it kind of plays out if people are still able to make their mortgage payments on a broad scale.
Exactly. And I think it's going to come down to also, are people going to be able to get their jobs? Like, our jobs going to pick up the same way? Because I know there's a lot of people unemployed right now or on furlough. And with everything opening up in Los Angeles very slowly, it's hard to say what's going to happen. We obviously, like Devin said, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know. All we can base it on is what we have right now, what we see in the market right now. and the last month of data.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just had a thought regarding the Zillow stuff again. If you see a house and you want to know kind of more what we think, I mean, it's always difficult without knowing. The value of a home is what a buyer is willing to pay for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So an appraiser can come out and tell you that your house is worth $1 million based on the comparable sales. But if 5 buyers come to that house and say, wow, I've been waiting for a house on this street in this school district with this big of a backyard, and the master bedroom's killer, and look at that view, somebody might say, you know what, I'm going to pay $1.1 million for that house. So then all that house is worth $1.1 million, even though the appraiser said $1 million. If they have the extra money, they can pay it for that. All that being said, if you see a house that you like on Zillow and want to know kind of a more accurate view of what that might be worth, shoot us an email. Let us know. Aaron and I can call the agent. We can ask them what kind of interest they have. We can go over there and take a video to show for you. We can ask them if there's new plumbing, if there's new electric, if there's new been any the roof was put on, sewer line work. All those things can come into play because we're doing that right now with a buyer. There's a house that we're helping somebody buy that needs work. It probably needs $100,000 worth of work. So they're weighing, okay, are we going to buy this house that needs $100,000 worth of work, or are we going to buy another house that's maybe $125,000, $150,000 more expensive, but that they don't have to put that sweat equity and time into, and maybe the frustration, they can just move right into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions? There might be some more on the Facebook feed. My iPad crashed or something, and so can't go back into it, but
I'm looking there. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for joining us as well. Tracy didn't write 90066 on our market report, so I'm gonna send that to her later. Well, thanks so much for joining, everybody. We had a great time. We're gonna try and do another one of these maybe in a month when we get the information, the reports out from CAR and NAR for April on the broader scale, and then we'll continue to do that. If you guys have any other questions, I'm Devin McNichol. This is Aaron Bernbach. Special thanks again. Thank you for Kerry Gelbard for coming out, LA Mortgage, and answering questions about home loans and where rates are at right now. If you want his information, let us know. Everybody stay safe and healthy. Let us know if you need anything. Aaron actually has been doing, we put it out there to help people do some grocery store runs. And there's a few homeowners that we know who are elderly and weren't comfortable going out. So that good looking guy who's my partner, he knight in shining armor, man. He went in there in the Sprouts and picked up a couple of reusable bags and brought that over there. Organic foods, man. They were happy.
Yes, definitely. We're here to help any way we can. So if you need anything or your family member does, if we can offer service in some way, happy to do it.
That's right. Everybody have a great night. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay in touch and take care. We'll see you soon.
Take care.